Welcome to Bunkie's Woodworking.
Okay, so we're going to be doing a build video again. This is going to be a simple organizational build.
Storage and organization is an important part of being in the shop. The way my husband works, shelves get always cluttered, so we decided to go with French Cleats.
Okay, let's get to work and build some French Cleats.
I hope you enjoy the video.
Okay, first I set off a very quick 2D drawing of a French Cleat with ViaCAD. I absolutely love the program, and I'd suggest anybody that's interested in doing any types of drawings, go ahead and check it out. So the French Cleat is made up of two parts. One goes on the wall and one goes on the little shelf or box or whatever you plan to make, but this is just a very simple, very easy design here to just show exactly what's going on. And now we're on to the build video. Okay, start off with finding the area where we're going to be putting up the French Cleats. Where this concrete wall will do just fine. I'm trying to find a good piece of wood, but I end up finding some plywood that I'm going to go ahead and cut into strips. Now, the whole thing behind French Cleats is that there are two 45-degree angles that hold on to each other. This kind of makes a personal shelf for each individual tool. So whenever you need a tool, you just plop it off the shelf. What's also kind of nice about it is the shelves are movable. You can move it anywhere on the French Cleat itself. So it makes it very nice. While an ordinary shelf, you don't get that type of movement. And as you can see in this video, shelves end up getting very cluttered very quickly. I also took some smaller boards and I went ahead and did the same 45 treatment in order to have the individual shelves for the projects. I marked level guidelines on the wall so we can put the French Cleats up. Now right here I'm just measuring so I can put a center line in all of the boards. And here I go ahead and put some pocket holes so when I put a screw in, it doesn't crack the project. I pre-drilled all the holes with my masonry bit. And then I go ahead and level each board. I ended up having to replace the screws later on because of the screws just weren't that deep. Of course, my wife is in there helping me out. Now, if I were to do this differently, I would go ahead and make the French Cleat in the back a lot wider, so it kind of holds the project a little bit better. What I found with the thin strips is that any of the cleats that I put on always end up kind of angling down, so it almost has maybe like a 5-degree angle. And that's not really great if you're trying to make a shelf or anything to that effect. Okay, so I go ahead and find a 4-foot wide piece of plywood. I go ahead and mark it off to around 12 inches. I wanted a fairly large shelf to go ahead and set up there so I can store some organizational boxes that we ended up getting a while ago. Okay, I'm using a couple angled pieces in order to kind of give me something a little bit better to bite with, because this is only 1/2-inch plywood and it's got a heck of a bow in it, and I'm trying to straighten out the bow and get everything together, and I ended up doing a pretty darn good job. Yeah, later in the video I end up adding a little backstop to give it a little bit more adjustment, so it has a little bit more of a 90-degree angle. Like I said about the shorter cleats in the back, it didn't quite support a longer lip like that. Okay, so I go ahead and set that up on the French Cleat. I didn't move the camera because of I'm obviously not used to working around a camera yet. Okay, as you can see, I am kind of building one to hold all of my hand planers.
Sometimes it just takes longer to pull out a bigger machinery such as planer or sander for something small that can be done by a hand planer.
Yeah, this French cleat is going to hold all of my block planes. Okay, so here I finally get the thing together and I have a nice little presentation. I think it looks pretty darn good. It looks actually better than most of the French cleats I've made. Okay, so I start making a larger French cleat for the jack plane and the smoothing plane. Now I wanted to have my planers kind of at an angle with a little divot inside of the French cleat, so it would they would stay on there and I could hold it on with a bungee cord. I wanted it to be more of a display item, you know, because I do think planes are absolutely beautiful. My wife and I have very fond memories of using a hand planer.
I like the shavings that come out of hand planers, little curly cues.
I had issues with this French cleat. I wanted it to be above the French cleat part, and it was making it so it would bend forward too much and fall off the shelf. So I ended up pretty much putting it at a lower angle, which made it so the jack plane didn't quite fit as well as I would have liked on the shelf itself. And here I am adding the bungee cords to the project in order to secure the planes on the boards. And then I end up setting out some Forstner bits that I had gotten from my father, and I was planning to make a shelf for that. I don't use my Forstner bits as much as I would like, so I ended up backing off of that. You know, I don't think they necessarily require a French cleat for them. Okay, so I go ahead and start putting together another French cleat. I had gotten this electric planer from my father. He had it inside of a drawer in his shop, and he'd never used it in, you know, over 30 years, my entire life. So it was okay for me to go ahead and make it part of my collection. And I needed a electric planer at some point in time. Okay, so I also had an antique hand drill, which I thought would look pretty nice on a cleat. So even though I probably won't be using it, I figured it would be nice to set up. Okay, so my wife inspired me to go ahead and make something to hold my earmuffs and face masks.
Whenever I come down in the shop, I see earmuffs and masks laying around on a dusty table. So I had seen him make a hose reel, and I thought that might be a better idea to hold earmuffs and gloves. So as you can see, we are putting them up.
After putting it together, she had suggested to move it down in order to have J-hooks so she could have some masks and other things that can be held on it. I decided to do exactly the opposite of what she said. Say hello, Gray. So as you can see, I'm preparing a sandpaper box that I had made quite a long time ago, and I'm going to go ahead and put a French cleat on it and just hang it on the wall. I also made a small French cleat shelf for a stencil kit that my Uncle Ted had given me. It makes it very easy to make letters and numbers and making signs and different things like that. Okay, and here's a little bit of the finished product. This is one that I'd already made, and this is the one that we just finished. Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe.
While you're at it, please check out our Etsy store. We have provided the link in the description below.